It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
Fred is out sick. Unless, as Bert theorized earlier. No, you didn't theorize, Bert. It was just it was batted around the room. I don't want to put this on you. We said this is not the classic banging in on a Friday of a 3-day weekend. Let's turn this into a 4-day weekend situation. That can't be the case because Fred is working on Monday. He's working on Memorial Day so that he can bank that as an extra vacation day later in the year. Until just out of the ether, it sprung up like
this is how my situation this is like what I was thinking about what I had done to set up my escape for the Ohio State-Miami game, which again, was lesson learned. And
got you fired. Yes.
Lesson learned. But you know what? Like, things worked out, and it was worth it because I watched my school win the national title.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was thinking of this being a potential setup, which is what you're getting to, Hardy.
Yes. And by the way, if you weren't listening earlier, Bert's first job out of college was in New Jersey. Ohio State was playing in the national championship game. His job was to go in at about 4 p.m, edit copy.
Until 1 a.m.
Yeah. Yep. He asked for the night off, the night of the game. They said no. So for a week, he feigned a growing illness, called in sick the morning of the game, stayed in his apartment with his friends. They, to use Bert's term, partied, the three of them, while they watched the game.
It's not fair. I mean, you lived in Vegas.
I was pretty messed up.
It's a little different. Your partying definition's a little bit different when you live in Vegas.
Well, no. Hardy went to a school like mine. There's a pretty high bar to clear to use that word.
Yeah,
so.
But suffice it to say, he didn't go to work. He came to work the next day, and they fired him. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, somebody asked, I thought a great question over email, Bert, you're in charge of a department like that now, at this age. I'm not saying you are, but if you were, and somebody wanted to take the night off to watch their alma mater compete in the national championship game, when you really needed them on the desk, they have got stuff to do. This thing needs to get up on the website. Would you give them the night off?
Yes.
Okay.
How about that?
Yes. I again, it is a relatively rare thing that your school competes for that sort of championship. So,
I think it's more rare for a lot of other schools than yours.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, the other thing I just wanted to check on briefly here was the bidding for the We Need a Fourth. This is for the 15th Who's Your Caddy Classic that's taking place at Brook Meadow Country Club Monday, June 8th. All the spots sold out in a minute as they normally do, but there are two things that are still available. You can be the fourth in the group with me, Fred, and Wallach. You can bid on that, or you can be the fourth with Felger, Maz, and Big Jim. All right? And the bidding started on Wednesday. Bert, would you care to guess where the bids stand for those two items?
Wait, to play with?
So one spot available. You be the fourth with Felger, Maz, and Big Jim. There's another spot available to be the fourth in the group with me, Wallach, and Fred. All right? There are two separate things to bid on here. What are the current bids on those two items?
And where are you playing?
Brook Meadow Country Club. Special Olympics is, the proceeds go to them. So it's for a good cause. What do you think we're at?
$10,000 a piece.
10 grand is an excellent answer. Good for you. For one of them.
For one of them.
One of them has 10 grand. The other does not. Who's got the 10 grand?
So
you can be honest. I see you running this over in your head.
He's thinking to let him think, John.
All right.
I'm thinking about it because honestly, I know the popularity of this show because of the amount of people that when they come and talk to me, like people I don't know come up to me. Like, there's a lot of, like, I heard you on this show that I get.
Cedric Maxwell says the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, a lot. So, you know what? I'm going to be loyal to the show that I'm on. I'm going to say it's you guys. It is Felger and Maz.
Felger and Maz.
Oh, yeah.
Current bid $10,000 to be their fourth.
Are you at 5?
So now the second part of this exercise, what is the current bid to be the fourth? With me, Wallach, and Fred.
I'm trying to read your facial expressions now, and so I'm going to say 5.
That's cute. Guess again.
3.
That's cute. Guess again.
2.
$2,030.
Oh, good. Now, it was only at like 1,100 yesterday.
It was at 16. It was at 1640 yesterday.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's up another
all right.
Now that,
$400.
That's
over
interesting.
$2,000.
Now that's interesting because the second part of what I can tell you guys about what strangers come up to me and approach me with, yes, they ask me a lot about, me being on this show and everything else. And then the second question I get, the second thing I usually get from them is Felger really like that?
Oh, yeah,
sure.
Yeah, so.
I still to this, it used to be 3 or 4 people that we get asked about. Now it's only 3. It's Felger, it's Maz. I think people have decided what Fred is, so I really don't get asked about Fred.
Yes.
Fred is...
Well, because Fred is like, I think when you listen to Fred, and this is like 100% to his credit, when you listen to Fred, it seems very authentic.
Yes.
Like, it's very believable that
it is.
Fred is.
It is authentic.
You know what I mean?
It's
very believable.
It's authentic,
Very authentic.
and it is a compliment. He would take that as a compliment.
Right.
As would I. People want to know Felger, Maz, Zoe,
Right.
and they used to ask about Adolfo.
No, I still get Adolfo.
Yeah.
Wherever I go, I still get Adolfo.
And across the board, I say the only one I'd say there's 2 of them who don't come across completely like they are in real life, and that would be Maz and Zoe. For Maz, I say like I know he's abrasive.
Maz is like legitimately the nicest guy.
Abrasive and caustic. On the air can be. He is the nicest guy at the radio station, and I mean anyone who meets him, hangs with him, says the same thing. Like, oh my God, what a sweetheart.
Right.
Zoe, I say, I know he sounds like a 10-year-old on the air. In real life, he's really more like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, it's worse.
He's on his best behavior on the air.
Right. This
so
is
it's not authentic.
When he gets here.
Yeah, you're getting like a heightened, mature version of Zoe on the air.
All right, real quick about the bid. What'd you say?
$2,030.
Now there's a little bit of another part of this, Bert, that Fred talked about on the air yesterday. He said that he would have a problem if the bid went over $5,000 because he'd be uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
He would think there would be more required of him.
The expectation.
So if it gets over $5,000, Fred's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, we don't want that. We're not campaigning. We want as much money for Special Olympics as possible within reason.
Right.
Without creating.
We don't want to go too high.
Since we're talking about all this, can we just do the rest of the liner just to check the box for this morning and tell people to go to 985thesportshub.com/golf for details. Again, proceeds are benefiting Special Olympics Massachusetts for the Hoosier Caddy Classic. Thanks to our friends at Catches Law, the Boston Bruins Foundation, the Patriots, Celtics, and Red Sox, Bernardi Auto Group, FootJoy, Yale Appliance, Pin Golfers, Golfers Warehouse, and Snell Golf Plus.
12
Thanks.
you are amazing. So that's great.
I got to do it.
Let me ask you this, though, because I think this is an interesting piece of it, too.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell, like, if it was on the Felger and Maz bid, was it bid up to that, or did somebody just plunk down 10?
No,
did it go 6, 7, 8?
There's multiple people bidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, because that is actually...
Because I asked Felger, I'm like, make me feel better. Is this like, friend
somebody,
of yours, like, has just got
10.
money? And he said there's multiple people bidding on it.
Okay.
So, all right, great.
That's more, that makes it more impressive, I think.
Yeah, good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. We know what we are. The Pardon My Take thing started with them having Bill Belichick on, which was a great get for them.
Yep.
And you know how tough it is to get certain people. Bert, and you've got your own history with Bill, a long history, and they, that was top of their wish list for years and years. So I think at the root of this is the problem with getting just clips of shows that you're not entirely familiar with. Of course I know Big Cat and I know Barstool and I know Pardon My Take, and it's a hugely successful show.
Yeah.
And it seems like a really good show.
Unbelievable, yeah.
I just don't have time to consume it all. Right. Doing your own show every day, you've got other stuff. There's things going on. So this is a product of only getting snippets of it. When we heard them talking not only to Bill, but about them in the aftermath and about, the interaction with them and Jordan and, how lucky they were to have him. I don't know any of the context. And people have emailed me with some context about this. First of all, this was from Brian. He said, love your show. Love PMT. PMT saying they love Jordan is very tongue-in-cheek. They always wanted to have Bill on the show, and they've been jokingly saying she's their queen for a while now to get Bill to come on. Also, Hank, the one from Scituate, is the one who loves Bill so much. He hasn't lived there in probably 8 to 10 years, and all those Barstool guys and guys like Simmons and Bill Burr, seems like they never say a bad thing about the Boston teams once they don't live there anymore. And I said, wow, that's an interesting point. People who grow up like Boston sports fans, and once they leave here, there is this thing that happens where
you're not around it anymore, and that's 100% true.
Listen, okay, so Bill Burr, who I love, right? I think he's a great comic.
Yeah.
Also does a really good podcast. Hearing him talk about Bill Belichick toward the end of Bill Belichick's tenure here, and he was saying stuff like this.
Yeah, I am a diehard Patriots fan. I think this is way too early to even remotely think about. And that's another thing too. Who are you replacing him with?
No. By the way, this was in November
of 23.
Of his last season.
So he's 2 months away from getting fired, right?
Gerard Mayo is apparently on there, but
also a lot of rumors of maybe trading for Mike Vrabel.
A lot of rumors from who?
From the same people starting the conversation about
exactly. It's all BS.
Right.
It's all BS. This is all because there's 24 hours of sports media. You just have to come up with some stuff. I mean, I don't understand. It's okay, we're 2-7. We have no offensive line right now for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is running for his life. You're bringing Zappy. He's running for his life. The play can't develop. You're going to have problems. This is why marriages don't work out. The second there's rough water, people leave, and then what do? Do they stay single? They get married again. You're signing up for the same ride. So what are you going to do? You're going to get rid of Bill Belichick, and you're going to bring some guy in with no rings.
That's correct.
But it's somebody new.
By the way, oddly prophetic with the switch over to Gerard Mayo and what ended up happening, but where there seems to be this disconnect with Boston sports fans once they're not in it and living it every day. I don't know if you just lose that anger. You lose that negativity.
No,
it's probably a much healthier and better way to live, whether it's Bill Burr or Hank or anyone else, to actually just be able to be a fan and be have some positivity and just support things without having this constant nagging feeling that it's going south. But that's what happens. I hate to chalk it up to something as simple as just geography and where you are, but I thought it was a really good explanation from the emailer. It's once you're not here,
that's a great point. I would,
your attitude changes drastically.
Would you guys say I'm overly positive about Ohio State? I'm just asking.
I think that's putting it mildly.
Okay.
Yes.
Every Saturday in the fall, I'm on a handful of text groups with my friends where I am sitting on the couch, firing every coach, benching every quarterback, pissed off. And there's a psychology of it is we can say these things about our team, but you can't say these things about our team. And so if you're in an environment where there are a lot of others like you, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to feel comfortable saying those things because you're among other people that feel as strongly about the team as you do. If you move outside of that bubble, and now all of a sudden
you're not hearing it all the time.
And you're not hearing it all. Now all of a sudden it's if anybody said, hearing that Mac Jones sucks from another Patriots fan, you're going to commiserate. Hearing Mac Jones sucks from a Jets fan, if you're in New York, you're going to probably go. It's just a totally different thing.
Right.
So, like, the psychology of that 100% applies. And so, like, that's why I brought up my own example, because I'm sitting there, like, on the couch at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, 3 Coors Lights in, stressed out because we're not winning by 30. And I'm texting all of my buddies, like, fire this guy. This guy sucks. Am I saying it to Michigan fans? No. You know what I mean? Like,
saying it within an earshot of Michigan fans? No.
No.
And if they say that, I'm going to tell them how much worse their guy sucks than my guy.
Right.
But, like, so there's 100% like that psychology to it. And if you're outside of the bubble, then
I'm sure to like some people in Columbus, probably sometimes if they're just hearing you and they don't know your history with the school and all that stuff, they probably think, what is this guy thinking? It's like he said things are all rosy. He doesn't really know what's going on.
Right. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's yes, I agree. I mean, I think, like, the thing with I caught a little bit of the PMT argument. It's just I think there's a little bit of a just push and pull there, and like the whole thing about the Jordan thing is like we experience this where there's tension between journalism style media and entertainment style media. And I think part of the problem that journalism style media has with entertainment style media is, listen, this person needs to be asked these questions, and now you're getting access to them. And you're not asking these questions, so you're giving him safe harbor. So he can still get his message out or get things positioned however he wants them to get positioned without answering these questions. So now he's never going to have to answer those questions.
Yeah,
and for someone like me, in my position, it's I can't enter it. Like, if there's some, I can't sit down with, like, Rashee Rice. I couldn't sit down, like, say a publicist calls me tomorrow and asks me about...
Hey, you want to have a friendly chin wag with Rashee Rice?
Hey, do you want to talk about the Chiefs season with Rashee Rice? Well, yeah, but I gotta ask him about being busted.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, well, we can't do the interview if you're going to ask that. Okay, I can't do the interview then.
Yeah.
Like, and like anyone who's in the news, like, I couldn't do an interview with Mike Vrabel right now without asking about his personal situation. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but we're not...
Whereas I like, for people on our side of the business, and look, like, this is a natural tension point between both sides. For people on our side of the business, sorry about that. For people on our side of the business, when you see, like, someone else giving that person safe harbor, it's like, that's kind of... That sucks, you know?
Yeah, but that's your side of the business. We're in the same business, I feel, as like the PMT guys, entertaining. The only, it wasn't even an issue. The only topic of conversation was how entertaining it would have been for us personally had he been asked about Jordan Hudson. That's it.
Did Hannity ask him about Jordan Hudson?
No, there was
no. They didn't ask at all. It would have been more interesting. You would get more people to listen to your podcast if you had asked.
No, stop. We got a break. We'll continue with this because there's some other stuff to get to, and then we got the Bedard and Beatles stuff too. So we'll do all that next. Hold on. Ticket not punched.
Hardy.
No, the ticket's not punched.
Fred.
You got a bunch of stuff wrong when you talk. So much for this country.
Dutcher and Hardy.
This country's a bunch of buffoons that don't know the rules.
You idiot. The Sports Hub.
I just realized I never finished my thought earlier. Got rambling and talking about other stuff. Fred is out sick today. If you think he's trying to turn this into a 4-day weekend, you're wrong because he's working on Monday. What if Fred also calls in sick on Monday?
That was what we were getting to.
That's what we were getting to, and I never got there, and I apologize. Now he has banked the vacation day anyway, uses another sick day, gets himself the 4-day weekend. That's
a power move.
It's the longest of cons and the most powerful of moves, and I don't think that's what's happening.
No, I don't either.
But someone in this room theorized on that very possibility when he showed up.
Yeah.
I was joking, Fred.
Here's why that's not the case. We all made that connection. Fred would not make that connection on his own.
You're giving him too much credit.
You're giving him too much credit. Fred is constantly trying to stay on top of like how many vacation days he has, and he's never has it right and all that. So it would never occur to him that taking the okay, I get credit for working this day, so I'm going to take a sick day and still get credit for the comp day. Like I don't think his brain is capable of conceptualizing that, and I mean that as a compliment.
No, it doesn't sound complimentary, and maybe you're not giving him enough. All right, let's listen to a little bit for this from PMT. I guess this from the episode, and I think they find it as ridiculous as we do, because the Nesson article that was written about this, first of all, referred to the show as Tucker and Rich.
Tucker.
Tucker, although they in the body of the story,
and Rich.
And Rich. Yeah. So it's like wrong on both. And then in the body of the story, they did refer to the host as Fred Tucker and Rob Hardypool. So that, okay, fine, you know that part of it. But I think this is them reacting to either a tweet or that article.
I feel like we might be in a beef right now.
Uh-oh.
We might be beefing.
Who are we beefing with?
With Tucker and Rich.
Yep.
Which sounds like that's just the name for Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein back in the day. That was their going out name.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
It's not true. But apparently they're not happy with the way that we conducted the Bill Belichick interview. But they said something that was wild today, because I guess they're a Boston radio show, right, Hank?
Yep.
And so they've been around Belichick for a while, probably got sick of the way that he used to treat the media sometimes, which is like he's always been a grumpy guy, never been like, the most forthcoming when he didn't have to be. So it sounds to me like they don't really care for him that much based on the small amount that I've heard. But then one of them said something, I don't know if it was Tucker or if it was Rich or who it was, but they said that Belichick right now needed us more than we need Belichick. And they're like, I wonder what the part of my take guys like we're getting out of having Bill Belichick on the podcast. It's like, wait, what? He's the best football coach of all time. We want to talk to the guy about football. And then the other guy said Bill Belichick right now is more known for dating Jordan Hudson than he is for anything else. And it's like, wait, have we completely lost the plot?
Wait,
yep.
I agree with that.
She's our queen. We can agree to disagree.
She's our queen.
See, now I'm hearing it. Now I'm hearing the sarcasm dripping from them when they're talking about Jordan.
Yeah, I think he is most known still for being a football coach, but it's like the guy that can do it all.
So, Hank.
Listen.
Where are you at with this beef? Because you started this beef they started. They started the beef.
I kind of retaliated. I think that the clip PFT's talking about is the original clip. No, there's no. It is what it is. PFT's right. He's like they have a long-standing like beef with Belichick, and they need to fill their time. They need to talk about Belichick. They're never going to be complimentary.
I saw one tweet that was like Hennies did not back down.
Yeah, Hank.
Oh no, here
way to go. That's my boy.
This is great. This is from Boston Radio Watch, which I'm going to follow that account. Looks like, Tucker and Hardy just started a beef with Barstool's Pardon My Take.
Uh-oh.
They roasted PMT's Belichick interview on air yesterday, and PMT's Hank Lockwood didn't exactly take it lying down.
Let's go.
That's the tweet I was talking about.
Yeah, that's my guy, Hank.
That's my boy.
Phrased a little
Doesn't
bit.
take it lying down.
Yeah.
So I like
unless he's in Vandy Woodhead and we got a long drive.
Yeah.
So where are we at with the beef?
I don't know. It's more a question for Hank because he's the one that's leading this battle. So
I'm not leading this battle. They took a shot. I said F him, and that's where I stand.
Wow.
Okay, but
he did not back down.
Official stance. So you guys can just F him.
Okay. All right. F him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
This boy
the
has
battle
not-
rages on.
Yeah.
We should just title this
Quote
episode.
card.
Yeah.
Can we make a quote card of Henny saying F them?
Yeah.
In reference to Rich and Touchy or
we should honestly title this episode Hank Doesn't Back Down Again.
Hank Lockwood breaks his silence on Boston radio beef with Tucker and Richardson. Yeah.
The constant either from actual like Nesson.com piece with a real writer attached to it. I don't even think it was AI that had the name of the show wrong on both counts, and the fact that no, there's no beef, and whoever tweeted out there like we absolutely went after them for disappointed that like Jordan didn't get brought up. That's it. That's all. And that's as much about, Fred's not here to, defend himself or say otherwise, but I think he would agree that he is, that's all he really wants out of Bill. And it was Fred. I'm not trying to deflect anything away from me. It was Fred that said that's what Bill is best known for now. In the overall Bill Belichick Wikipedia entry sense of the word, no, of course we all know who Bill Belichick is, but in terms of what he has been newsworthy for over the last couple of years, what would you say, Bert? What has been Bill Belichick's most newsworthy mentions over the past couple of years? Was it his outstanding record at North Carolina? Was it the fact that he's the 33rd NFL team, or is it his relation? What, John?
Nothing. I was just saying nobody was drafted off of.
Or is it his relationship with Jordan Hudson? I mean, that's what the casual fans have been interested and know Bill Belichick from over the last couple of years anyway. That part of it I completely agree with.
Well, what I was going to say at the end of the last segment is you'd be surprised too how often you're in a situation like that and the person actually wants to be asked about it. Like where you think it's a touchy subject, but they actually have something to say on it. And that's why you ask the question, because you can get more interesting content. Now, sometimes you will get shut down, but I think, if you know how to interview people and you know how to talk to people, there's a artful way that you can ask those questions that isn't disrespectful, that sometimes will reveal that person actually wants to talk about it. And I've found more often than not
talking about this.
Yeah, that you might get shut down.
But I think more often than not, you have the people who don't want those questions asked are some PR person, some publicist, some hanger-on that doesn't want to get in trouble with the person who's being interviewed. But a lot of times when you get in that setting, if you can approach it in a respectful way, you can get the best stuff you'd possibly imagine out of them. And
no.
And then sometimes it goes like that.
Yeah.
But I would say the other thing I thought of was you said Hannity didn't bring it up. Well, they did talk about the CBS interview, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So that did come up in the Hannity interview.
The Hannity stuff was borderline insanity. You've got
I was stunned.
Yeah, stunned at the way he was treated by CBS.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and
I hope you sue him.
And I don't think he was kidding. Sue over what?
Right.
I mean, it's not like it was some fly-by-night outfit. It was CBS News who conducted an interview, who showed what actually happened. And why do you think they asked it? To get on your nerves? Do you think they asked about Jordan because they were trying to piss you off, or is it because what everybody was waiting for and wanted you to ask them, and when you got shut down by Jordan, that was the most compelling part of the interview? Right. I don't know what you're going to sue him over. That's what you were there to do, and that's what CBS was there to do, and they got what they came for in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I was in this situation with Bill once. So when I went from the Dallas Morning News to the Sporting News, and we were relaunching the magazine, that was a short-lived thing. But when we were relaunching the magazine, one of the things that I had was I had a one-on-one with Bill coming out of their 2007 season when they were undefeated. And so went into the interview, and Spygate was obviously a big story back then. And so I had to ask about it. And so I think I asked 2 or 3 questions. It was almost, I got almost no response.
Sure.
It was very clipped, whatever. It did not ruin the interview. But I think he knew I had to ask it, and I asked it, and then we moved on from it. And I think those, again, it doesn't always work out that way. Where you're going to get an interesting response, but you'd be surprised how often it does.
Yeah.
How often if you like, and you can't come out of the gates like just, like you're, like 60 minutes, you know what I mean? But there's a way to do it.
Are you a terrorist?
That's right. You start, sports talk, Matt.
You know what
Bobby, Yankees are in town.
Your tone there. You know what that kind of sounded like? Just remember Chris Hansen? To Catch Predator?
Oh, yeah.
But that was Mike Wallace, how he...
What are you doing with that six-pack of Zima?
Yeah. Mike Wallace starts his interview with the Ayatollah. Are you a terrorist? Like, question one. It's like, you can't do that. But look, Bert, you've got so much more experience doing this. We've all had those moments, though. The first time I got a chance to talk to Malcolm Butler, like, after the Super Bowl, he didn't play in. That's the first thing I asked him. Sat down on Radio Row. I think I can't remember what city we were in. And it was an interesting answer. Still don't have an answer for it. And way more so than Jordan Hudson, what I want Bill to talk about is not playing Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. It's really the only thing that interests me about Bill Belichick in terms of a question that he would get. Would he answer it? I don't know. But you have to at least, like you said, Bert, take the chance that it is something that he wants to talk about. And if asked in an artful way and you can get talking about it without grilling him about it, then who knows what can come from it.
Yep. And I listened to most of the PMT interview, and I thought it was really good. Like, I thought they did a good job of asking a lot of relevant stuff. But, there's that whole journalism versus entertainment thing, which, they don't claim to be journalists, and they very strongly come out and said that. But there is that, that push and pull and the tension between the two sides, which, you are providing safe harbor now for someone to not answer some relevant questions, which I think is something that's existed for a long time.
And the last thing on this.
I have a much bigger problem if a journalist does.
And last thing on this, when we were discussing earlier before the break, and you kept saying, when we do it, when you say we, you mean you, because that's not what we do here either. This isn't journalism on this show.
We as journalists.
Yes, you and your ilk. All right. Are we gonna have time to get to the Bedard Bertrand thing here in the next segment?
We can do it at 9.
Yeah, you can do it at 9.
Yeah, but Bert will be gone. Yeah, well, you can give us your pre-thoughts if you want to
on Beetle and
Bedard
and Greg.
Yeah, but we'll do that next after Wallach's headlines.
My buddy and me.
With friends like these,
to climb up a tree.
We're the best friends you can be, my buddy and me. Now, more of your best morning buddies, Dutcher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
I just checked the bidding again on the need a fourth for the Who's Your Caddy, June 8th, Brook Meadow Country Club. Proceeds benefiting Special Olympics. Felgram has still at $10,000. We have gone up from $2,040 to $2,045.
Wow.
Can we not do this?
Oh.
And if it literally gets to nickel and diming it, if it gets to $2,045 and 10 cents.
That's worse than no additional bid.
Yeah.
A $5 increase, yes, is worse than no additional bid.
Yeah.
Two guys at the end of an auction that have exhausted their bank accounts and will go up by 30 cents.
I wasn't insulted until just now.
Yeah.
I thought it's all for a good cause. I don't care that we've got a fifth of what Felgram has. It doesn't bother me. That bothers me.
Yeah.
So someone said, you know what? That's worth another $5.
2 bits. I got him.
Albert, in a few more minutes, and by the way, thank you so much for sticking around extra hour today. It's been great having you here with Fred out, but the thing we're going to do at 9 is some back and forth between Mark Bertrand and Greg Bedard, which stemmed from something that happened years ago and a dust-up that was really personal between them, but it had some professional ramifications.
Poor Zoe got thrown in the middle of this, huh?
Zoe's fault.
Seriously.
Sounds like it was his fault.
My God. Poor Zoe. I mean, there's nothing like setting the fire. There's nothing like setting the fire and then standing back and watching everyone else scream at each other over it.
Some people just want to watch. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Other people don't know how fire works, and I think that's what Jenna
That's more apt. You're right about that. That's fair.
Book of matches. So
what's going on?
But you must have had like professional, issues rise up between you and other writers over the years.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
What? And anything where you were like completely wrong and had to like, hat in hand say that like you screwed something up. I'm not talking about like messing up a source or anything like that, because that's part of the territory, and I'm sure that's a learning experience. But between you and like another media person.
Yeah, I would say there was one.
You don't have to tell me who it is, but can you tell me what it was about?
I did apologize to him.
Okay.
And so this was early in my career. And, when you're early in your career, you're trying to figure out, like, okay, you just figuring out the landscape and everything else. And I was new covering the Patriots. And back then, and this seems like a zillion years ago now, but like it was actually a big story if you could break when a team signs first round pick, because back then, before the 2011 CBA, I mean, rookies were like often carrying holdouts into training camp and missing parts of training camp because of contract disputes. And so if you could break a first round pick signing, then that was a big deal. Mm-hmm. So in 2006, the Patriots were in a contract dispute with Lawrence Maroney.
Oh yeah,
and so his agent, who I had a good relationship with, there was a story out there at a competitor that had there was a story out there in the Globe that he had fired his agent. So his agent calls me, I built a relationship with his agent, like really pissed off. Like, he didn't fire me. It's a paperwork thing. Someone's probably saw it in the NFLPA records, but it's actually just like we're moving him from like I was the primary agent, whatever. So okay. It was a paperwork thing basically. And so someone at another outlet had written,
he had fired his agent.
So at the time, I'm brand new on the beat, like less than a year. And the Metro West Daily News was owned by the Boston Herald. So the Herald would pick up my stories. And so, I went to an editor at the Herald and I said, hey, I'm like, I have this that he's on the record. Mm-hmm. He didn't fire his agent. And so how do you want me to handle this? And the Herald at the time was very aggressive about saying contrary to this, contrary to that, and kind of going to war with everybody.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's, a scrappy tabloid, totally get it. But my instinct was I don't want to bury this other writer, but it's like the editor was like, contrary, you got to write contrary to this other report. So I write it. And then, a month later, I wind up breaking Lawrence Maroney's signing.
Okay,
right? Which, again, early in my career,
it's a big deal.
It was a big deal at the time. And then I noticed this other writer was kind of who I've been very friendly with was pissed off, whatever, and and then eventually, I went to the other writer and we hashed it out and everything and got past it, and I was wrong. I should have, because I had a good relationship with that writer, because I was friendly with that writer. I should have said something to that person, and I should have said, look, I just want to give you a heads up. We're competing with each other, but and it actually, something similar came up this week for me, where I had a piece of information that was contrary to what somebody else had reported. And because I have a good relationship with this other reporter, I said to them, hey, you might want to double check that. You might want to.
Yeah.
And I just, wasn't worth it to me to go and report something. And it wound up that he would like this other reporter, which I hadn't reported the whole thing out. This other reporter was actually right, but I told him, hey, you might want to go double check that rather than trying to go and run with something that was going to fly in the face of what it wasn't that big a deal to me to have that. Mm-hmm. It was more important to me to do right by the people around me. And that's something that I learned 20 years ago, where I should have given that reporter a heads up. I probably shouldn't have dunked in their face, which it kind of felt like I was doing at the time, and I genuinely felt bad about it.
Well, did you smooth things over?
Yes.
Are you okay with this person now?
Yes.
All right. I'm glad we used this as the preamble because, Bert, that is very, very tame. And that was very well-mannered, and that was a very grown-up way of handling things. It serves as a great preamble to what Bedard and Beadle were doing yesterday. I got to say, for as bad as it could have gotten, I don't think it got that bad. But if you missed it yesterday on Zolak and Bertrand, it was compelling. It was good stuff. Bert, always good stuff with you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, you,
guys.
Enjoy your long weekend.
You too, and we'll be listening for Fred.
Reconvene on Monday. Of course, we'll all be up.
See who's right. See if your theory holds any water.
It wasn't.
It would be dastardly.
I threw it out there. I didn't do the second
No, you're a reporter. You're sniffing around a good story here. I like that.
I didn't go to the second order thinking that.
No. I think
that, where it was then he thanks the vacation day.
He's working on Monday.
Respect the journalistic instinct here. I like that.
What if he's still
4-day weekend? 4-day weekend.
God. All right. 90 seconds here with Wallach's headlines, then we're back.